Chapter 54. Dell got the mail. It was always bad news, so some days went by before he bothered to take out his strangely sharp little key and open the metal box by the front gate. The mailbox was stuffed. As always, there were overdue bills mixed with throwaway flyers printed with cheap black ink that rubbed off onto his fingers. But today there was something more. He held a letter addressed to Patty Wynn in his hands. She didn't get mail here. He read the return address: Kern County Department of Child Services, and he felt suddenly queasy. He was sweating and dizzy. Maybe he should just leave. He could drive off and never come back. If he did, at least the cat would be covered. He couldn't imagine a world where Willow wouldn't figure out a place for the furball. Dell had delivered the letter to Patty, and then he'd gone straight down the hall to his room. Now, in his bed and his laptop open, he was staring at the Kern County Child Services website. In the state of California, a person could have temporary custody of a ward of the state for a few weeks and under special circumstances for several months. But after that, the goal was for permanency. The hope was that a guardian would step forward. Dell felt his left leg twitch, and then it jerked, spontaneously, like he was kicking a soccer ball. Ever since he'd started jogging, his limbs seemed to function independently from the rest of his body. Now, even lying down, it was as if his feet were trying to step forward. Was it possible he could become the guardian of a 12-year-old? Even if he didn't want to? And he didn't really. Did he? He had debt and barely any job security, and now even being able to follow through on getting his coffee card stamped correctly at the little place where he sometimes got a morning cup of hot brew. But hadn't things changed? Wasn't he now the building rep for the Gardens of Glenwood? Hadn't he been driving the two Wynn kids to school every day? Plus, he wasn't just holding down a job, he was possibly getting better at it? Wasn't he the one who supervised the biggest transformation that had ever happened at the apartment building? Okay, so maybe he hadn't supervised, but he was at least part of it. He did operate the rototiller. Dell shut his laptop, but his legs kept twitching. No one knew that they had gotten close, and now Hiro was the first person Patty needed to talk to. His cell phone rang, but he didn't answer. He knew that if he was driving, he couldn't pick up. But he would. He'd call her back, and they would figure it out, the two of them, what to do. It was December, and the brutal heat that was the only real constant for months had finally broken the week before. It was like someone flipped a switch and changed the season. Nights were now suddenly cool, and fans and air conditioners had finally been put away for their 4-month-long electronic hibernation. Patty slipped out of her too tight shoes, her feet seemed to be growing, and stared at the letter from the state of California. It was for the custody hearing. It had twice been postponed, now it was for real. Decisions had to be made. She folded the letter in half and promised herself that she would do the right thing.